£80,000.
Hello, my name's Dr. John Garside, and I'm here to tell you about a £190,000 investment opportunity in my business Slim PC. First of all, I'd like you to imagine a product market worth an incredible $130 billion. And I'd like you to imagine that 99% of the products in that market look almost identical. In fact, take that a step further. I'd like you to imagine that despite incredible advances in the technology that goes inside the products, the biggest innovation in the last 20 years in the way the product looks has been to paint the boxes a different colour. Now, I'd like you to imagine entering that $130 billion undifferentiated market with a product that's truly differentiated. A product that has all the power, flexibility and upgradability of the conventional desktop PC, but introduces revolutionary style, improved ergonomics, and still manages to keep cool and quiet. Well, that's exactly what Slim PC have done. And whether a customer wants a budget 15-inch display Eco PC or a fully loaded home media server with built-in widescreen TV, DVD and video to hard drive recorder, our unique patent pending and DTI Smart Award winning integration technology has the power and flexibility to meet all of their needs. Bearing all this in mind, I strongly believe that Slim PC represents a very good and solid investment opportunity, and I welcome any further questions you may have. Thank you.
John wants the Dragons to invest £190,000 in his designer personal computer, and he's prepared to give away 25% of the business.
Dr. John, what's your doctor in? Is that GP?
It's a PhD in a mixture of electronics, biology and physics.
OK. You said you were going to introduce something with revolutionary new style. Mm-hmm. Where is it?
Here.
What's different about it?
The difference is that first of all, we've integrated the LCD display onto the platform. However, what we've done with this is actually integrated it in a completely flexible manner.
You said revolutionary new style.
Well, we've introduced natural materials like hardwood, which in an environment where you're looking at aesthetics, that's revolutionarily different.
There's a lot of wiring we put there. Is this going to switch on?
We can switch it on, yeah.
And is there any purpose? Would it show me anything that would interest me?
It does everything that a PC does. So all it will show you is this thing switching on and acting like a PC. I mean, the key benefit here is that you've got something that takes less room than a PC, but does everything that the PC does.
John, there's lots of people making PCs, and I don't see any difference in that one. And it's not something that you've convinced me of nothing. Unless you convince me very quick, it's not something that I would want to invest in.
OK. Now, say you've got a small designer apartment, say something like this building here where you've got a modern sort of industrial look to it. Or say you're a student where you haven't got much room. If you take one of these things in the home media server version, which has a TV in it, the DVD player in it, really everything that you'd want as an entertainment centre, then that's all you need. Say you're a student going away to university, you've been using your parents' computer at home,
John,
that's everything you need.
I can only say two words. I'm out.
John's lost Duncan Bannatyne, who just doesn't like his design. Simon Woodruff is also unimpressed.
I spent 15 years as a designer, John, so I've got an eye.
Yep.
That's not a finished thing. Screws are sticking out, all sorts. I don't like it aesthetically. I'm not investing.
2 Dragons down already, and finding £190,000 from the remaining 3 is going to be tough. John now faces a battle to tempt Rachel Elnor to invest.
Can I just ask how much it retails at?
It will retail, it will depend on the model and what goes inside there. It will retail at between £699 and around £1,000.
Right, OK.
So
it's not remarkably cheap or anything?
It represents the mid-range of the spectrum for PC products.
Yeah. I can see what you've tried to do. You've sort of taken the digital radio approach and done the sort of retro kind of wood wrap with the brushed aluminium. But to say that this is a cutting-edge, new, revolutionary approach to computers, and even if it was, you're up against so much competition from people like Dell who can just put you out of business, snuff you out of business in a moment?
I don't think they can, because what we've done with this is we've actually aimed at the niche end of the market. Don't forget, we're only looking for 0.0...
So you've got a patent over using wood as a material, because that's, to me, is the only differentiator at the moment, the fact it's got wood on it and it's not plastic.
The key differentiator is the flexibility of it.
Sorry, I'm not going to back you.
It's not going well for John. His main problem seems to be that none of the dragons have liked his computer design. Its retro styling and hardwood panels just haven't impressed them. John now needs to interest Peter Jones and Doug Richard in the product, the two dragons who know most about the industry he's trying to break into.
I've spent my entire adult life in the computer industry. And I'll start with the bottom line. I won't be investing today. Okay. I actually think it's an unattractive unit.
That's personal view.
Hang on, let me finish my thought. Okay. I mean, I agree with you. That's a very personal judgment I'm making.
Most people feedback that they actually really like the appearance of it.
That's great. The best thing you could do would be to go to a much broader audience so that you can hear the reality of what you're up against, because this is not investable. That is not an innovation. And the only thing I do is wish you the best of luck.
John's been battered by the Dragons so far. Duncan Bannatyne, Simon Woodruff, Rachel Elnor and Doug Richard have all given him short shrift. His only chance is Peter Jones, who made a large slice of his business fortune working in the computer industry.
You mentioned, obviously, you're a doctor.
Yep.
I actually think you need one. If you're classing that as a slim PC, I'm flabbergasted, because that is no... I've seen much smaller PCs. I've seen much thinner computers.
Let me answer that.
I think the whole terminology of a slim PC clearly doesn't match what you've just brought today.
Okay. We actually did the original concept model of this being quite a lot smaller than this one is. However, so we actually abandoned the plans to go with that because...
You abandoned previous plans to go with that?
Mm-hmm.
That's not innovation. That is back to drawing board. And the second thing I've got to say is you're entering now a seriously competitive marketplace, probably the most competitive marketplace there is, and there have been many, many, many failures. You have no differentiator whatsoever. That is not a slim PC. I don't think it's ever going to be an investment. I'm not putting my money into something like that, and for all of those reasons, I'm out.
This will go to market. We will sell it. We will be presenting at an investor conference in October. It is going to be a success, chaps.
Good luck.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for your time.
So, an unusually rough ride in the Dragon's Den. Dr. John Garside felt the full force of the Dragon's disdain. They just didn't think his designer computer was well designed.
Oh my God.
Why did we take so long?
It's true, actually.
That was a
I don't know. That was the single least defensible proposition I have ever seen in my adult life. How can he look at that and think that he's got a product?
Britain has always had plenty of wacky inventors with great ideas, but can they turn their products into profitable businesses? Ade Andu thinks he can, but first he needs £100,000 to make it happen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ade Andu, and my company is called PlantPar, and I'm looking for an investment of £100,000 to bring this revolutionary new product to market. PlantPar is a self-watering system which I developed over a number of years. This product solves the problem of over or under watering, in which the plant only takes what it wants when it needs it. The product has won numerous awards for innovation and is patented in the United States, patent pending in the UK and in Europe, and I believe that it's got the potential to really change the way plants are cared for. It's simply placed in the plant pot and then potted up. The £100,000 is purely for marketing to make sure that we get this product into all the garden centres the B&Qs, the home bases. I am offering investors an equity stake of 25% plus the option to buy more at a later date and an exit period of 5 to 10 years. Thank you.
Ade wants £100,000 and he's prepared to give away 25% of his company.
Could you just take me through the bit that's going to detect the moisture?
Okay.
Take me through that and how that works and why does that filter water through?
Right. The way these tubes and chambers are designed, that is what makes the product wax. It's like an integrated valve system within the chamber itself, so that when the compost is drying out, this wick monitors the moisture in the compost, and when it's dry, it sends a signal into the chamber using the design, which releases more water. So the water that is released is what moistens this again, which seals the system and stops. So the plant demands, it takes what it wants when it needs it.
That is an incredibly ingenious idea.
But it's quite a big unit, isn't it, for one little small plant? It would look pretty odd, wouldn't it, if I had 10 plants and I need 10 of those?
You mean for this one?
Yes.
Oh, if for this is specifically for going away on holiday. No one to come in to take care of your plants, you have this chamber. The capacity is what is important.
So I take all my plants out, put them into
Put
a
them
tray.
in there, go away for 2 weeks, and they come back. You come back, they're looking healthy.
In the little white pot there,
Yes.
is there a small one?
There's a small one.
How small a pot could you put it in? If I've got a little house plant like that?
Yes. We can go as small as this.
Okay, all right, now I understand.
Yep.
That's
So-
all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Different
terrific.
sizes.
So far, so good. The dragons seem genuinely impressed by Ade. He's got a clever invention, but has he got a business strategy to match?
How much do they cost to buy at retail? What's your recommended
At this
retail
point
price?
in time, because it's still manufactured at a high cost, $5.99 at retail
For the big one?
for the big one.
And the small one?
$1.99, $2.99.
OK, what would you do with the £100,000 that we've given you?
Okay. We have the US patent granted, and the UK and European patents are pending. I have done the hard work, which is the development of the product and getting it to this stage. The £100,000 is purely for marketing to make sure that we get this product into all the garden centres, the B&Qs, the home bases, and let the consumers.
And does that cost money?
That costs money.
Ade wants £100,000 for 25% of his business. The dragons think his ingenious plant watering system could be a mass-market success. And Peter Jones has heard enough to start the ball rolling on a deal.
I actually think that this could be a goer for you. I think that this could be very successful. I think that the investment that I would put in would be £25,000 for 12%.
Peter Jones is prepared to put in £25,000, and Simon Woodruff wants to be in on the deal too.
I'm interested in investing, and depending on who else is investing here, I'm interested in investing between £20,000 and £30,000, depending on how that adds up.
Okay.
Ade has been offered £25,000 from Peter Jones and up to another £30,000 from Simon Woodruff. He needs £100,000 in total, but he is winning the dragons over.
I'm interested in investing in this company, but I'd put in 40,000.
It's rare for anyone to have so much interest from so many dragons. Ade still needs a small investment from Doug Richard or Rachel Elnor to reach the £100,000 he wants, and then they just need to sort out the terms.
Even though I think you have an ingenious idea, personally, I only invest in things that are already companies, in the sense that have bits more. So I'm personally going to recuse myself. I'm going to say no to this investment, just to clear the air here.
With Doug out, Ade needs Rachel Elnor to join the deal if he's going to get the money he's looking for.
You're an inventor, but to me, you're not an entrepreneur. And there's a million miles of difference from a great idea and a great product and actually making it work and making money. I will put in 10K, provided I know that someone is leading it and has got the time, because this is going to take a lot of time. And I don't think you're the person.
This is my skill.
You need to build a team,
Yeah.
but I'm happy to make up the balance.
Rachel Elnor's £10,000 investment means Ade has reached the £100,000 mark. But there's no deal yet. The dragons want a huge share of the company for that, and they have other conditions too.
Ade, I just want to sum up so everybody knows where they are. So we're offering you the £100,000 you asked for 48% of the equity of the company, and your full-time commitment for 5 years or until we've recouped 100% of our investment.
Okay.
There is a deal on the table for Ade. Peter Jones, Simon Woodruff, Duncan Bannatyne and Rachel Elnor will together invest the £100,000 Ade came for. But they want 48% of his business, while he only wants to give away 25%. They also want him to put all his time into making this business a success, but Ade's not sure he can make that kind of commitment.
I'm working in other areas. It's a research work. It's a dissertation which investment has gone into.
And how much of your time is that taking up?
It should finish by the end of the middle of next year.
You have to solve this problem right now, because I'm not going to put my money, I'll put my money into you if I know that you're going to be full on until I'm safe.
Okay.
But if you're going to be out doing other things, I'm not putting my money in.
Drop the dissertation, drop everything else, and do this and make yourself a lot of money. Or put your plants back in your box and say goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
The deal is still not there. The Dragons think Ade's academic work could distract him, and they'll only invest if he concentrates 100% on Plant Pal. Is he prepared to sacrifice his other work?
Will you put it on hold until we get a 100% return on our investment back?
When we double your money, yeah, I'll put it on hold. And give this 100%.
Okay.
It looks like the deal is back on. Ade is prepared to yield to all the Dragons' demands and give up 48% of his business. But he has one major proviso.
All right. And your investment purely is in the UK and Europe.
World.
Well, it's in your company.
The whole pitch from the beginning.
Sorry?
Your whole pitch from the beginning is you've got a US patent. It's in your company,
right?
And it's for the world.
We can't go anywhere in the world because I already have a license. I'm organizing the license agreement in the US.
But why did you tell us you got a US patent?
No, I own the patent.
So you can easily put the patent into the company.
No, I've kept them separate.
Ade, that last statement has completely turned me off. Because, Ade, look at me in the eyes. I don't trust you.
Yeah, you said you were going to give 100% of your time to Plant Pal Limited. Yeah. But clearly you can't do that because you're going to give some of your time to Ade selling his product in the United States and that patent.
No, it's a license agreement.
I'm out, Ade. I'm out. You haven't got an investment now.
Oh.
Okay, you've lost
You
it.
really have. You've lost the confidence of the five of us, actually.
No.
The biggest worry is the fact that you've taken us down a road and it's been a very nice little journey. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm absolutely turning off, and thank you for your time. I'm not interested at all. I'd like no further dialogue. I think that you've said enough.
It's devastating news for Ade. The cash was on the table, they seemed so close to an investment, but they could never agree the terms.
I think that was just a great disappointment.
I love that. At the last minute, it's, well, it's just UK and Europe. It's like, where does that one come from?
But that was because he didn't really like the 48% deal.
Ade, do you think there was a deal up there to be done or not? It sounded like it was so close at one point, then it went away.
Yes, I believe there was a deal, but they were asking for too much.
I mean, you were never going to accept 48% of the
I wasn't
company.
going to accept that.
Why then did you not just say no to 48% rather than come in at the end with, oh, by the way, I'll keep the American rights and all
That's
that?
the thing. I needed to clarify that they were not going to have the right, 48% of everything worldwide.
If they'd stuck to the 25% that you initially offered, would that have included the American
It would have
rights?
included that.
It would have?
Yes.
OK. Well, it's hard to believe we're not going to see more of this product, because if it really works, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to want it. So, very good luck.
Thank you.
Other aspiring entrepreneurs who tried and failed in the Dragon's Den included Floyd Peltier, who was looking for investment in his travel seal, which indicates if luggage has been tampered with.
It provides a simple, safe and secure method of luggage protection for anybody travelling by air, land or sea.
Rachel Elnor spotted a flaw in Floyd's product.
Every airport airline advises you these days to leave your luggage unlocked because of the security checks.
And Simon Woodruff was desperate to know what was so special about the product, which he thought just looked like removable tape.
Just make this attractive to me. Make me feel that I'm going to miss out unless I do it, because at the moment I'm looking at a piece of tape.
Joanne Bradford struggled to even get her blow-up children's cot into the Dragon's Den.
Hello, gentlemen. Lady.
It's won 7 awards already for both design and business concept.
After all that effort, Peter Jones wasn't impressed.
I'm actually just deflated. I'm not so sure you really know what you're doing.
And Rachel Elnor thought Joanne just wasn't tough enough to succeed.
You're just swallowing advice whole. I mean, someone says jump and you say, oh, right, OK.
Anthony Johnson wanted the Dragons to invest in his non-surgical facelift kit.
This is the very latest electrotherapy facial fitness system that's designed to lift and tone the facial muscles without pain and without risk.
And Peter Jones thought he might have something.
I'm not just saying it, I actually do feel a difference.
But Simon Woodruff couldn't believe what he was hearing.
I just think it's another of those fly-by-night things that come and go, fashion of the week, and it'll be gone in no time.
There's no shortage of people trying to make a name for themselves in the world of fashion and design. Most fail, very few make big money. So can Elizabeth Galton succeed? She wants the Dragons to invest £110,000.
Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Galton. I'm 28 years old. I'm looking for £110,000 investment with 20% equity. I'm a fashion jeweller with an established reputation for making couture jewellery. I've won major awards from the British Crafts Council and the Worshipful Goldsmiths Company, and I've exhibited at the Victoria and Albert Museum and at galleries across Europe and New York. My work has been featured in the Sunday Times, the Financial Times, Mayfair Life and Esquire magazine. And I also work as a fashion assistant to the jewellery editor at Harper's & Queen, and I lecture at Central St Martin's and the London College of Fashion, and I'm an ex-Royal College of Art graduate myself. I am aiming to create couture look design that's highly distinctive with impeccable quality but at off-the-peg prices, the kind of product that's only currently available at the very high end of the market and is available to only very few consumers. And in conclusion, I have letters from top individuals and organisations in or connected to the industry expressing strong support for my objectives. Thank you.
Elizabeth Galton is looking for £110,000 and is prepared to give away 20% of her innovative jewellery business.
Can I have a look at some of the things that you brought? Is it possible to just give me a couple of things?
This one's in 2 sections.
And how would one wear this, Elizabeth?
It just sits around the neck and the orchid sits in the middle.
And it would be
that's it.
primarily for women, though?
Yes, yeah. I mean, these big pieces are... I have one lady who's... she's an investment banker. She's used to work for the 3i Group. She loves flamboyant jewellery. She's in her 50s. She loves wearing pieces that she goes to a cocktail party and all her friends go, my God, what on earth have you got round your neck?
You're looking at me absolutely normally, like I'm the most normal man in the world.
And I'm struggling to realise where this could go.
Again, this piece...
I'm actually worried to ask you. Could you just take it back?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, I think that suits...
this one.
Very few things do, actually. I have to admit, this is quite a surreal experience because in the time I'm completely diverted by this bug on your chest, which, you know...
Cockroach.
I'm sorry?
The cockroach.
Oh, don't worry, I've had cellos,
I'm confident anything I say will be mild by comparison.
But I think what we need to focus on is the product I'm looking to launch are smaller scale versions of these.
OK.
Elizabeth's designs have got the Dragons' attention, but they don't seem to have grasped so far that the jewellery she's brought with her wouldn't be the actual pieces she wanted to get into the shops.
So what you're saying is, Elizabeth, these are not things that you would ever envisage going out. This is the catwalk
I
stuff
wore this
that
to
you'd
New
see?
York Fashion Week on September the 8th.
Okay, so I guess, but the idea is that these units are much smaller in real size.
Yeah, this is for press, fashion designers. It, you know, obviously it has a huge novelty kind of factor for the press. They love it. They get really excited by it, you know. So they get the press coverage, and obviously that helps with the ready-to-wear collection.
What are your expectations to numbers that you're going to sell? Have you got some first-year figures that you think that you're going to do some revenue figures?
Yes.
Can you give me those?
Yeah. My markup is 450%. As I said, the margins in jewellery are excellent. So it's 450% is my markup. In year 2, the products will be manufactured in China, which will mean that my markup will actually be will increase to 700%. When I sell the product direct at trade shows, my markup will be 1,482%, which is a fantastic markup, and that's direct into my pocket.
Elizabeth claims she can make extraordinary amounts of money from the jewellery she sells, so investing in her could be extremely lucrative for the Dragons. But can she prove to them she's got what it takes to run a successful business?
My biggest challenge here is the gap between what you do today, which is intended to be provocative and on the edge, and what you seek to do, which is intended to reach a mainstream audience, admittedly led from a promotional point of view by your couture work. And this is where, to me, you've got the biggest risk. Have you been able to present yourself to the distribution channels? You're eager to tell me the answer, so go ahead.
Jess James is probably is the top independent gallery in London. They are desperate to have a ready-to-wear collection from me, and they've already said that they will take it as soon as I have the product. I did all 8 windows of Harvey Nichols recently, an installation for them. They're very, very keen on the product. I went out for New York Fashion Week and talked to Fragments in New York. Again, they're one of the leading contemporary jewellery galleries. Another one in New York, Fashbinder, very, very keen on the work. But all of them want the product, and at the moment, I don't have the product to give them, to get it into the shops. But I've talked to Liberties. I did an installation for them when they launched their new contemporary accessories gallery. Their buyers very, very keen to take my ready-to-wear collection. So I have talked to a lot of people. It's just at the moment I can't deliver the actual product to them.
But to do that, you've got to be a businesswoman.
Yes.
You've got to be a full-on businesswoman.
Yeah.
And from what I'm getting from you right now, you're not a businesswoman.
Right.
You're a designer who's got a good bit of front.
I think having been out of the RCA for 4 years, I would have sunk without a trace had I not. I've already made sales. My last commission last month was to Swarovski for this catwalk piece for New York Fashion Week. I don't think I would have been able to negotiate the deal that I did with them if I didn't have a certain amount of business acumen.
Elizabeth's got the answers the Dragons are looking for. She's clearly a designer in demand with an impressive list of potential clients. But none of the Dragons have offered her any of the £110,000 she's looking for yet. Duncan Bannatyne wants to know more about the press coverage she's had.
You said you were in the Financial Times and you mentioned other papers. Were you really in the Financial Times or were you in the magazine supplement?
I was in the How to Spend It supplement. That's the Squire magazine. That was part of Mercedes-Benz ad campaign for the Mercedes C-Class. And they basically, Mercedes commissioned me straight out of college.
I don't know why you didn't show me this one to begin with. That's much better. That's a fantastic write-up.
Okay.
Elizabeth, can I just ask you, from this How to Spend It article, did you sell any of these as a result?
Yes.
How many?
Yeah, the couture pieces. I sold 5 couture pieces.
From this one article alone?
Yes, yeah.
For how much?
They wholesale at £1,200 and they retail at £6,000.
Did you sell them? So did you sell them to wholesalers?
No, I sold them to private clients.
For £6,000 each?
Yes.
So you sold 5. So you made £30,000 from this piece
just on the back of the FT,
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an important breakthrough for Elizabeth. Rachel Elnor's hugely impressed she's already sold 5 pieces of jewellery for £6,000 from one magazine feature. Elizabeth's looking for £110,000, and Duncan Bannatyne is keen to start talking figures.
I like you and I like the product and I'm willing to invest, but we've got to clarify the deal and the offer I'm going to make for you.
Right.
The company would own the rights to your name. if I invested in the company. Now, we can put an out clause in that allows you to get out at some time in the future, but you wouldn't get out for nothing.
Right.
There would be a cost implication to it. And the percentage is too low. Now, I'd be willing to go up half the money. You're asking for 110,000. I'd be willing to go up 55,000 for 15% of your company now, today.
Duncan Bannatyne is ready to offer half the £110,000 Elizabeth is looking for, but he wants 15% of her business. She only wants to sell 20% in total. The Dragons realise they're looking at an impressive designer with a potentially lucrative career ahead of her. But she needs one or more other Dragons to join the deal. It appears Elizabeth can't rely on Peter Jones's support.
It would be very, very wrong of me to sit here and actually understand and think that this is an investment for me. This is something that maybe I'm going to see in Hello Magazine, and maybe I'll see nicely on Esquire. And I might kick myself, but I might not. But it's not an investment that actually I personally think that I'm going to add any value to it, and I don't portray that I'm going to really get into it to such an extent that I have got the time to go and sit and watch beautiful ladies on the catwalk, and unfortunately my life's just not like that. So I don't think that you would benefit from having me with you as a partnership or me in the business. And for those reasons only, because I think you're a fantastic person, I think you've been brilliantly today, I'm not going to invest.
Peter Jones is out, and Simon Woodruff is not far behind.
I love the outrageousness of it. I'm not, and I like a bit of fashion as well. Jewellery, I've never really got, to tell you the truth, deep down. And when I really come down to it, do I want to have a jewellery business? I don't. Okay. So I'm not in, and I'm not an investor.
We're down to 3.
I don't know anything about this. It's pure risk for a techie. I have huge admiration for you, but it is silly for me to pretend I can't add the value to this that I could to others.
Peter Jones, Simon Woodruff and Doug Richard have all told Elizabeth they won't be contributing to the £110,000 she's trying to raise in the Dragon's Den. So can she tempt Rachel Elnor to come up with the extra £55,000 to add to Duncan Bannatyne's offer?
Do you know something, Elizabeth? I'd be interested in putting in 55k for 15%. My big problem would actually be doing an investment with Duncan, because I just think that the three of us in business together would be like 3 sticks of dynamite. Which would have the potential to explode at any moment, and the whole business would just go poof.
Whether Elizabeth succeeds or fails in the Dragon's Den depends on whether Rachel Elnor's prepared to work with Duncan Bannatyne. They're the only 2 Dragons left.
I've made my position clear. I've offered you 55,000 for 15%, and if you can get a second Dragon to come in with 55,000 to join me, then you'll have your 110. And I'll work with any Dragon. I've said that. My position has been made very clear.
I guess the final call goes to you then. I very much hope that you will say yes.
Will Rachel finally commit to Elizabeth's business and put in the rest of the £110,000 she needs?
I would put in 55,000 for 15%, and the company that we're investing in would own the rights to the Elizabeth Galton brand. Okay, that's the deal.
Right. My first question would be, 30% seems a lot to me. I don't know whether we could get that down to 25.
I think it's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, okay, fair enough.
There's an offer on the table for Elizabeth, but it's not the one she came for. Rachel Elnor and Duncan Bannatyne are prepared to offer her £110,000, but they want 30% of her business. Elizabeth only wanted to give away 20%. Will she hold out for a better deal?
So you're happy with that?
Well, I think if the 30% is non-negotiable, then yes, I'd be happy with
Well done, Elizabeth.
Well done. Fantastic.
This is going to be interesting.
Elizabeth's done it. She's walking away with the £110,000 she came for and is giving up 30% of her business to Rachel Elnor and Duncan Bannatyne.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Guys, I want to say I think well done.
Yeah.
I think she's a cracking...
Oh, thank you, Peter.
She was great.
That means a lot coming from you.
I think that would be a great investment. I think Rachel will follow her skills well. I think it'd be a great investment for you because you'll get to every single catwalk, and I know that was the strategy behind it in the first place. You'll be at every single front... You'll be there on the first stand looking up at all these It's worth 55,000 to you of anybody's money, but for Rachel, great business.
If I have a spare ticket, do you want to come?
Yes.
Elizabeth, very, very well done. Brilliant pitch, has to be said. You really disarmed them with your charm. Are you happy with the outcome?
I'm very, very happy. It's, I think if I hadn't got the investment, obviously I would have carried on. I'm very passionate and I know I would have made it in the end, but this is really wonderful and it means I can move forward a lot quicker with things.
Now, you were a brilliant businesswoman in there. You absolutely, obviously, mastered the business. However, I wasn't impressed by your negotiating. When it came to the argument over equity,
yes,
they said 30%.
Yeah.
You asked if they would negotiate, and that was the end of it.
I'll let you into a little secret. On the equity front, I would have kind of, I think, at the end of the day, gone along with what they were prepared to offer because I really need to move forward quickly with the product now. So I knew that wasn't going to be. I wasn't going to fight.
Fake it.
I couldn't fake it. I'd already kind of put up quite a fight, I think, and I think that would have just been a little too much.
Very, very good luck.
You.
Well done,
Thanks.
Elizabeth.
Other budding entrepreneurs who found the dragons were no pushovers when it came to investment included Jane Dorey, who was trying to interest them in her bathrobics exercise programme.
And then you get into the bath, and this is where you sit on your bum-shaped sponge. This is a proper little workout.
Duncan Bannatyne didn't get it.
You know, I just think you're obsessed with this, and I just don't think this has got a future.
Peter Jones wasn't impressed either.
I see no business acumen or no business individual in front of me to sort of carry that product forward to make me believe in this is a good investment.
Dr. Kin Kam thought the dragons might put money into his bleeping NHS appointment reminder card.
I was just hoping I could hear the alarm.
Well, unfortunately, the battery's gone flat on this one. I mean, they sent me...
It's all right.
Simon Woodruff thought the product would cause more problems than it solved.
People are going to be going around at home and they're going, have you seen the new thing that the National Health has sent you? This thing's driving me crazy and I can't find the stop button on it.
But Kin had the last word.
Well, you must be an idiot if you can't find the button.
Yinka Davis wanted investment in his buggy attachment, which would stop the person pushing getting wet.
The canopy, as we have here, is nylon, it's waterproof, but also acts as a UV protection cover as well.
It wasn't one for Peter Jones.
I don't want you to take this personally, but I think this is the most ludicrous thing I've ever seen.
And Duncan Bannatyne didn't think the product would make a splash either.
My heart goes out to you because I'd hate to be in your position and I've spent so much time on it. But you don't have a business.
And there was no money from Simon Woodruff.
If any dragon makes a deal with you today, I'll eat my hat. And if I see that out on the high street in the next year, I'll eat the raincoat as well.
Next up is Joe Gascoigne. Now, he's come from Spain to make his pitch, and he's looking for £125,000. Remember, he has to get at least that amount, or he goes away with nothing.
Hello there, my name is Joe Gascoigne. My company is A-Frame Golf, and we are looking for £125,000 for a 10% equity in the company. I have in here a golf product, as you may have guessed, that is actually 85% lighter and 65% cheaper than its nearest rival. This is it when it's been flat packed, and this is how we send it out to our customers. In a jiffy bag, mail order sent out to them. Inside here is the product set up, which I will show you in a minute. Okay. This is the A-frame. So what advantages have you got? Well, it's a performance-enhancing product, and it weighs about 12 ounces, which is about 350 grams. The normal golf bag is around about 1.2 kilograms, something like that. So there's a massive weight advantage. What does that weight advantage give you? Well, when you're playing a round of golf and you're carrying around 5 kilograms worth of clubs plus a bag, it's very, very tiring. So what it allows you to do, on a back nine, maybe you're playing some quite good golf, but you find that your game and concentration is starting to wane. This allows you to power on through and perform better, so it can actually reduce your handicap and increase your enjoyment of the game. How is it carried? Well, it's carried with a dual shoulder strap, which is here. I'll take my jacket off for this because I don't play golf with the jacket on. And simply picked up, I'm a right-handed golfer, picked up with one hand, put over the shoulder here, and worn like this. So in terms of playing a normal round of golf, it's played in exactly the same way. The idea in the long run is to sell it to one of the major sports manufacturers or get a very, very good licensing agreement. Thank you very much.
Joe Gascoigne's looking for £125,000 in exchange for 10% of his business.
Basic questions first. How much does this thing retail for?
Okay, it retails for €55 in Europe and 65 in the United States or the rest of the world.
And your cost of manufacture approximately?
We're making it for $10 US.
And how have you funded this to date?
It's been some private investment from my business partner. We got a venture capitalist firm invested some money to get 20% of the company, and we raised a government DTI-backed loan as well.
How much did the VC invest?
They invested €100,000.
100,000 euros?
Yeah.
And what percent? And they got 20% of the company for that?
Yeah.
And you're in business already in producing these things?
Yeah, we have sold about 1,250 products. We have also given away some promotional ones in the first year. We gave away about just under 1,000 of promotional products.
And what's your current sort of level of sales?
Probably doing about 75 to 100 a month.
Doug Richard has found out that Joe has already sold 20% of his business to other investors. Joe knows he'll have to be careful how much he sells to the Dragons if he wants to keep control of the company. Sales of the device are slow so far, and Duncan Bannatyne is already unimpressed by what he's heard.
How long have you had this product available for sale?
It's been available for sale for about a year and 3 months, something like that.
So really it's sticking to the shelves, isn't it? It's not selling.
It's not selling as we would like, no.
It's not selling, it's just not selling, period.
It's selling.
Very slowly.
Not as quickly as we would like, no.
I'm trying to think of a reason anyone would want to buy this product and not an ordinary golfing bag. You said it was performance enhancing.
Yeah.
That's because it weighs less than a golf bag, and therefore it's easier to carry it around the golf course.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits from it.
But isn't an electric cart that little bit easier than this?
Well, this is, I mean, we're trying to encourage, not it's our product, so we're trying to encourage golfers to walk the golf course.
Well, I've listened to what you've had to say, Joe, and you made a good presentation and you're a good salesman, but even still, I believe you've got a product that doesn't sell properly because it's not wanted by its customers enough for it to sell properly. And so, for that reason, I won't be investing in your company.
It's a bad start for Joe, who won't be getting any of the £125,000 he's looking for from Duncan Bannatyne. Rachel Elnor is also struggling to see the appeal of the product.
For me to invest in something, I have to kind of know a bit about the market and where it fits, and just to get a sort of mental hook into will it work or won't it. And I don't have that at all with this because I'm not a golfer, I don't know the market, I don't know what else is out there. I don't know about whether it would improve your handicap. So it's not the kind of thing that I'd invest in.
Rachel Elnor isn't interested in the A-frame golf club carrier, and now the pressure's on. Joe needs to convince Doug Richard, Simon Woodruff and Peter Jones to come up with the cash he needs.
Can you just take me through what you do and what's got you to here?
So I was actually doing an MSc in engineering product design many, many years ago, 6 years ago, and I had to do something. One of the courses was quality engineering, where we reduce something to the minimum number of parts. So I was a keen golfer, still am a keen golfer, and this is what I came up with. But my full-time job is as an area manager of a recruitment company.
Still being that area manager recruitment company, you don't have a lot of faith in what you've developed, that tells me.
It's not that I don't have a lot of faith. I dedicate an awful lot of my time working on this. What I don't have at the moment is enough in the company to pay me a wage to be able to support my family. I mean, my business partner works on it full-time.
I think it would be good if we can get him up and see him, actually, have a chat with him.
The Dragons are going to hear from Joe's business partner and brother-in-law, Mark Newson-Smith, who works for the company full-time. He's in charge of promoting and selling the A-frame golf club carrier.
Mark, we've brought you up just to really take us through what you're currently doing, because we've understand that you're working full-time on this project now.
That's right, yeah.
Going well?
It's going well. I mean, we haven't made the sales we wanted to. We feel that it's a product with enormous appeal when people see it. The problem is getting it to the broader mass market.
If I was to take a club now and take a shot,
yeah,
could you just do exactly the same? If you put it on your back.
Yeah. Okay. A bit of room there, Mark. Okay. So. Okay.
You've just got that, and I've got about 230 yards. I need to take a 3 wood. So you need to put your bag down and go and get a 3 wood.
Okay. So 230 yards, 3 wood. You're off.
Peter Jones seems to like the product and still wants to know more, but the other dragons have heard enough.
My instinct in 5 years' time is that you will sell a lot of these, but you will sell them not because it's lighter, but you'll sell it because it's cheaper. I'm not going to invest. I'm not interested in it. It's too big a gamble for me.
Simon Woodruff's out, and Doug Richard is also preparing to end his interest in Joe and Mark's business.
I'm not a golfer, therefore I don't have a particular sense of this, and you have done very little to persuade me that that this is a must-have product in the market, so I'm out and good luck.
Joe and Mark must now try to tempt Peter Jones to invest the whole £125,000 they need to be successful in the Dragon's Den. At the moment, they're only prepared to give away 10% of their business.
I want you to consider a couple of things. One is that if I was to be interested, you're going to have to sell it a little bit harder to me with regards to the percentage. So you're going to have to give away more than what you're offering. 10% is not going to be of interest to me, but I am interested. I think that there's a lot that could be done with this, potentially.
It is. I mean, the golfing market is enormous.
But can I just wait a second? Sorry. The second thing is, though, so that's one thing I just want you to consider. The second thing I want you to consider is, Joe, if you were to get an investment today, I personally would need commitment that actually you leave your job on Monday and you resign from what you're currently doing and you put 100% into making this work. So there's 2 things I want you to consider. I'm going to give you plenty of time.
And that's for the full investment we're asking for?
It would be for the full investment.
Peter Jones seems willing to invest the money they need, all of it, but he's insisting Joe leave his current job and work full-time on the A-frame golf club carrier. He's also looking for a better deal than the 10% share that Joe and Mark are happy to give away.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. I don't know enough about your background and your success in business. What do you feel, having seen this, that you might be able to offer us in terms of expertise rather than the money, if anything else at all?
I have a lot of very, very close friends that are actually in the sporting world. So for me, to get access to people that would be that we can use as testimonials, you know, we'd be talking 10 or 15 people pretty rapidly, but quite high, talented, current sporting athletes.
It seems like Peter Jones would be the perfect investor for Joe and Mark. Not only is he prepared to invest all the money they need, but his connections in the sporting world could provide promotional possibilities for the A-frame golf club carrier. But for this, he'll want a big share of the company.
I wanted you to come back to me to give me your absolute maximum shareholding you would give away in your company, so we don't have to get into a tactical sort of bit of dogfight with regards to share. What is the maximum you'll be willing to give away for receiving £125,000?
We'd go to 12.5% for 125 grand.
Right.
Mark is clearly not prepared to be cowed by Peter Jones, but a 12.5% share in the company for that price is not going to satisfy a dragon. Have Joe and Mark blown their chances?
Guys, to be honest, I think you realise that's ridiculously low. You know.
Well, what's the figure you were thinking of?
It's a very clever. Having said that, I do admire it. Actually, I've just realised.
We believe in it. We don't think we have to give.
No, I admire in the tactic of saying 12.5 because you're not giving much away. I quite like the style of negotiation. Okay, to make this fair, I'm willing to invest £125,000 for 26.3% of your company, and with that, you will get me as non-exec chairman. I would like to have equal voting rights on the board, and I think that by working with me you'll not only learn a lot, but I can open up a lot of opportunities for us to push this product into the open market. How do you feel about that?
No, it's unacceptable to me.
And to you?
I don't doubt your... I'm sure that what you're offering is right with your experience. It's just not right for us at the moment. And again, it's something we may turn around and rue, but it's the position we find ourselves in now.
Well, it's still valuing your company at nearly £500,000 today, guys.
To be honest, if Joe offered me 26.3% for that money, I'd probably buy it off him.
Staggering. OK.
We believe in it.
It's Joe's invention, but Mark is the one leading the negotiations. Remember, they've already sold 20% of the company to a venture capitalist, and now Peter Jones has offered £125,000 for 26.3% of the company, aiming to get an equal share of the company with Mark and Joe. But Mark's holding out for a better deal. It's a dangerous game. Are they prepared to lose out on such a massive offer of cash?
I think their offer is extremely generous, so I'm not willing to negotiate on the offer. I'm very set and firm. But I'd like, if you two need to have that conversation,
sure.
Could you not just go away for 2 minutes?
Sure.
Say yes or no, and we can move on from there.
Peter Jones clearly rates the A-frame golf club carrier, but Mark's unwillingness to be flexible could kill the deal.
He's looking at us thinking these guys got absolutely diddly squat.
Yeah.
You know, he thinks we're poor, which we are.
And with his injection, you know, his injection of the expertise that he's got in his connections, he's not around Mark.
But think about it, if he wants to put this money in, okay?
Yeah.
Someone else similar will put the money in. This guy's playing hardball, of course he is.
Of course he is, but okay, so with, you know, he's not prepared for negotiation.
He thinks this guy's over a barrel and he thinks that these guys, you know, going to squeeze us, which is not, you know, if we said 12.5, he's saying 26.3. Now his real figure's probably nearer to 17% or something like that.
But Mark, he's got so much muscle behind him.
Yeah, but don't be bullied, Joe.
Okay, fine.
I would say don't be bullied.
Okay.
You start talking.
It's clear that Joe and Mark are split about whether to take Peter Jones's money.
Okay, Peter, we've had a little conflab there, and we've decided that we won't sell the amount of equity you're looking for.
OK. Well, I think that's the end then, guys. But anyway, it's been interesting.
OK. Sure.
Okay.
Mark's refusal to accept Peter Jones's offer has shocked the Dragons, but Joe has gone along with the advice of his business partner. They've turned down an investment of £125,000.
I think it's huge, the potential there. As a gift experience, I think that's quite big. At $29.99...
Gift product, perfect.
As a gift product, you're going to sell tens of thousands of those.
Yep.
They're going to look back on this moment and they're going to regret it, because money is not easy to find in this world.
Well, it was rather like a intense psychological game there. Have you any reservations about your walking away from the potential deal there?
Not the deal that was on the table.
But you presumably were more sceptical about it.
A lot more sceptical, yeah.
Don't you think entrepreneurs with their businesses and their hopes and their dreams make the mistake of believing that they can sort of hold a high percentage of something when actually they'll end up with a high percentage of very little? And with someone like Peter Jones in their back pocket, they can end up with a smaller percentage of something really, really big.
No, yeah, it's a classic mistake that inventors make and small businesses make. But
you recognise it as that mistake? I mean, you do see that mistake...
It's a classic mistake that is made. Perhaps we're falling into the same trap, but we think we've got such a good idea, as all inventors
as all of them do,
startups do. But we really think that there's enough on the table for us to expect to get far more or far less of an equity sale for that sort of money at this stage.
OK, well done, both of you.
Thank you very much.
The Dragons have been scathing about some of the ideas in here today, but at least Elizabeth Galton got the £110,000 investment she wanted for her jewellery range. Those others who've been given such a rough ride, well, they should heed the old English proverb, a smooth sea never made a skillful mariner. Goodbye. Next week on Dragon's Den...
You haven't told me how I'm going to make any money, so I'm not going to give you the money.
It's a ridiculous investment proposition.
I have no desire to invest in you or your product.
I am definitely not going to be investing in the business.